Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got another deck profile for you guys today. It's another update on my Dark Magician Fusion deck. This is running the new Keeper of Dragon Magic, of course, which came out into 10s earlier this year. I'm also running Mana Dragon Sir Nitron now, since it's a dragon type and it also acts as a pseudo hand trap. It's got a really excellent effect, so hopefully you guys will enjoy this. And yeah, let's get started. So starting off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Dark Magician, of course. This guy is the heart and soul of the deck. Next up, 3 copies of the Princess Illusion. She's a free summon, just discard 1 card, and then if she's special summoned, you can add a copy of Dark Magician from your deck to your hand. 3 Magician's Rod, which is your best normal summon in the entire deck. Searches out all your Dark Magician related spells or traps, like your Dark Magical Circle, your Navigation, your Eternal Souls. And since we play playsets of like the key cards, it's not hard to hard draw them either, so Magician's Rod just really goes well. Next up, playing 3 copies of Keeper Dragon Magic. When this guy is normal or special summon, you can discard 1 card to add a copy of Polymerization, and if you use his graveyard effect, where you can reveal an extra deck monster, special summon one of those materials and face down defense from your graveyard, that's also really good. So it gives you a consistent way of bringing out Dark Magician to Dragon Knight. The only problem is that if you use either one of these effects, you can only special summon monsters from the extra deck. The only monsters you can special summon from the extra deck are fusion monsters, and you can't summon anything else. So you can't link first and then go into a fusion summon. No, you have to do strictly fusion summoning only, which isn't too bad because you generally want Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight, out as quickly as you can. That way you can have yourself some built-in protection from. That way your opponent can't touch your back row, and with Eternal Soul, it will also protect your Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. All right, so moving on, I'm going to be playing 2 copies of the Magician of Dark Illusion. This monster will count as Dark Magician while it's on the field. If you play a spell or trap during your opponent's turn, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you activate a spell or trap, you can special summon 1 Dark Magician from your graveyard. Next up, playing 1 Dark Magician Girl. I like to play her just because I do like Dark Magician Girl. The Dragon Knight has a good popping effect, and for this meta, it's actually not too bad, honestly. So Dark Magician Girl at 1 is really not a bad choice. Next up, 2 copies of Mana Dragon Sir Nitron's a dragon type. If a spell or a trap you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, which you will be seeing that quite a lot with Nightmare Phoenix specifically, or any other spot removal card like Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclone. So Mana Dragon will special summon itself. So if your opponent pops your Eternal Soul and you lose all your monsters, you can at least back yourself up with another Mana Dragon Sir Nitron and bring back one of your banished or destroyed spell and traps from your grave or banished zone. So Mana Dragon Sir Nitron really synergizes well with this deck. And last but not least, 1 Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. You always gotta have Blue Boy because we're running the Spellbook engine just for draw strength. So yeah, and that's pretty much it for the monsters. Alright, so moving on to spells. Playing 3 copies of Dark Magical Circle. This lets you look at the top 3 cards of your deck. And that way you can add either a Dark Magician or a Dark Magician related spell or trap. And if a Dark Magician is summoned, you get to banish 1 card to your opponent's side of the field once per turn. For some draw strength, playing 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. Your entire deck is dark except, of course, Blue Boy, but yeah, you can definitely spare a Sir Nitron or one of your Keeper of Dragon Magics, just in case if you want to go into some link plays instead. Next up, 2 copies of Secrets. You want to search out either Blue Boy or Knowledge, which comes to our next card. 2 copies of Spellbook Knowledge. Finally got myself a second one for a pretty good price, so I couldn't resist. And since we're playing the fusion variant of the deck, we're playing 2 copies of Polymerization. Only 2 though. 3 can get cloggy, so that's why I think 2 is enough. You just want to search it out. 1 Illusion Magic, tribute 1 Spellcaster to add up to 2 copies of Dark Magician from your deck or your graveyard to your hand. 1 Dark Magic Inheritance, banish 2 spells to get a Dark Magician related spell or trap. 1 Dark Magic Attack, which is really strong against Alter guys. You can just wipe out their entire back row. And 1 Monster Reborn. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so moving on to traps. Playing 3 Navigation, which is standard. And 3 Eternal Soul, which is also standard, which protects your Dark Magician from being destroyed by your opponent's card effects, or just unaffected by your opponent's card effects. And then once per turn, you can either special summon Dark Magician from your hand or grave, or add 1 Dark Magic Attack or 1,000 Knives from your deck to your hand. So, really excellent card. I wish it would let you add Dark Magic Attack and 1,000 Knives from your grave as well, but it would be way too broken for that. Alright, so moving on to the extra deck. Going to be playing, of course, 2 copies of Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. This guy protects your back row. He's a 3k body. Also, your opponent can't destroy... Also, they cannot destroy your spells or traps with card effects, so it protects from both targeting and destruction effects, so that's really good. Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight, which again just pops 1 card once per turn just by discarding 1 card, and that can come in handy. So you can like discard a Dark Magician, revive it back with Eternal Soul and all that good stuff. Moving on to XCs, we got one an Illusion Magician, which everyone knows what this guy does. Red Ice Flare Metal Dragon, just to do some burn damage to your opponent. Windbag, which is our mind control. Although unlike mind control, we get to permanently keep that monster. 1 Galaxy Tomahawk, which really helps us get into some powerful link plays. So yeah, really excellent card. For the Link monsters, got the best card in the whole extra deck. Saryuja Skull Dread. This guy really bumps up our draw strength and just gives us some extra power to all our monsters. And it gives us a free special summon too, depending on how many monsters you use to summon it. 1 Nightmare Unicorn, it's free spot removal, as well as Nightmare Phoenix and Cerberus. 1 Deco Talker, just because, it's the most standard Link monster. 1 Cleave Genius to go with our Tomahawk. And then we got Wee Witch's Apprentice. Like I said, a big majority of our deck is dark attributes, so Wee Witch's Apprentice comes in handy. And finally, 1 Link Spider, also to go with our Galaxy Tomahawk play. Alright, so now we're moving on. So, starting off on the side deck, I'm playing 3 copies of Ash. I don't like to main deck it. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but only on certain matches is where I'll main deck my Ash Blossoms. 3 Secret Village of Spellcasters, which is really strong against Sky Strikers, because, as long as you control a Spellcaster, they can't activate their spells. 3 Called by the Grave, another good card, in case if you have to run it, but to me it's just a good side card, doesn't have to be main deck. 3 Mind Crush, it really does come in handy in this current format, because there's a lot of search-based decks, and you definitely want to basically just mill your opponent's hand as quickly as you can. And finally, 3 copies of Storm Mirror Force, which is generally my option for Thunder Dragons, because you kind of want to bounce them back. You don't want to try to destroy them because they have that built-in protection. And you don't want to banish them either because they have effects when they're banished. So that's why I decided to go with the Storm Mirror Force option. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you guys again on the next video.